Hello everybody and welcome back to SFF180. It is Monday morning, the 5th of February, and time once again for the Mailbag. Thomas here, your host as always. I hope you guys have had a great week. I've had a really good one. It was a good week for reading and a good week for mail. Have a decent stack of books right here, so we're going to check those out in just a second. But first, as always, some brief announcements. In case you hadn't noticed, earlier this morning I posted a brand new SFF180 Classics review, a tribute to Ursula K. Le Guin, as it were, so please go check that out right after you watch this, if you haven't already done so. Second, BookTube SFF Awards nominations period is closed. It's done, so if you didn't get your nominations in, well, I'm sorry, too bad. But a lot of people did, and so now we're going to be tallying those up and determining the shortlists, and we'll announce those probably Friday or Saturday, sometime close to this weekend, I believe. Looks like it's going to be a good set of shortlists. I have seen the way they're kind of shaping up. These new rules of ours gave us a bit of a headache in trying to, enforce them, make sure everybody got everything right. But I believe that it is going to result in a much more interesting and much more broad, selection of books on our shortlists than we've had in previous years. So, well done all of you who participated. Thank you. And finally, because February is Black History Month, I've been looking through my stack of yet-to-be-reviewed stuff I'm running late on, older books that I've been meaning to read for a long time, and there's quite a lot of really good stuff by African-American writers, especially. And so I am going to be concentrating a lot of my reviewing for the month of February on works by Black authors. It should be pretty exciting. I mean, I'm going to be reviewing some other things as well as I can slip them in, but I have something like 6 or 7 titles that I'm really, really excited to review, including an episode of SFF180 Classics that I've been thinking about for a little over a year now, and I'm kind of excited to get to, so look for those this month as well. That's it for announcements, so without further ado, let's dig into the mail, shall we? Okay, Random Penguin for the first package. This looks like probably a new hardcover of some sort. It is, and I'm happy to see it. This is Tarnished City by Vic James. This is the second book in the Dark Gifts trilogy. First book came out last year. It was called Gilded Cage. I have it. Rather shamefacedly admit that I did not get around to reading it at the time, but I'm quite ready to do so now. Let me see what I can say that isn't going to be a spoiler. This comes out tomorrow on the 6th. The captivating dystopian trilogy that began with Gilded Cage continues. In a modern Britain where magic users control wealth, politics, and an uprising has been crushed. In its aftermath, 2 families will determine a country's fate. The ruthless Jardines make a play for ultimate power, and the Hadleys, once an ordinary family, must find the extraordinary strength to fight back. Okay, and I guess that is all I'm going to tell you here. The author is a current affairs TV director who loves stories in all their forms. So she covered the 2016 US presidential election and Britain's EU referendum for the BBC One. So, okay then. Cool. London author, Vic James. Comes out tomorrow. Tarnished City from Dahl Books. And next up, a white envelope usually denotes a Tor Books title. I was wrong. This is from FSG, which is another Macmillan imprint. Okay, interesting. This is called Miss Subways, and the author, you're not hallucinating, is David Duchovny. Yes, that David Duchovny. I think he's written a couple of books before. And this is, let's see, a doorman, a second-grade teacher, a crow, and a golem. What do all these things have in common? In David Duchovny's darkly funny and wildly imaginative new novel Miss Subways comes out on the 1st of May. Emmer, probably, a middle-aged Catholic schoolteacher, is taken on a wild ride somewhere between waking life and intensely hallucinogenic REM stages of sleep. The differentiation becomes so complicated that Emmer can't trust anyone in her normal life, quote-unquote normal, with the exception of her 82-year-old senile father who thinks her name is Bill. Is the New York City MTA to blame for Emmer's amnesiac troubles, with its train of thought quotes plastered about and philosophically vexing, its writers frustratingly manspreading, mysterious glimpses of underground people standing in abandoned stops as the train whizzes by, and not to mention Khan, the man of Emmer's dreams, miraculously sharing her commute day after day? Miss Subways draws inspiration from the ancient myth of Emmer and Cuchulainn, and asks, can 2 perfect equals really find each other, or rather avoid the fate of running into each other. This modern fairy tale centers around the MTA, and what's more New York than that? Okay. Interesting. David, we will see what you have to offer as an author of modern contemporary urban fantasy, as it were. But, once again, Miss Subways comes out May the 1st. Yeah, every once in a while something turns up that's just totally unexpected. All right, this is a little paperback from HarperCollins. And I was expecting this. This is another little contemporary fantasy. The author is Laura Bickle. It's called Witch Creek, a Wildlands novel. This follows up a book called 9 of Stars, which they sent me, so I have that. And then apparently there were 2 prequel novels before these 2 that I haven't been sent, but I know they're out there. But it's a rich tonic of a tale that wrestles with immortality, illness, and love in the wake of magic. This comes out, or came out, no, comes out February 27th, not January 27th, so end of this month. As the daughter of an alchemist, Petra D has battled supernatural horrors and experienced astonishing wonders, but there's no magic on Earth that can defeat her recent cancer diagnosis, oh dear, or help find her missing husband Gabriel. Still, she would bet all her remaining days that the answer to his disappearance lies in the dark subterranean world beneath the Rutherford Ranch on the outskirts of Temperance, Wyoming. Gabe is being held prisoner by the sheriff and heir to the ranch, Owen Rutherford. Owen is determined to harness the power of the Tree of Life, and he needs Gabe to reveal its magic. Secretly, the sheriff has also made a pact to free a creature of the underground, a flesh-devouring mermaid. The plot thickens. Mirren has vowed to exact vengeance on Gabe, who helped imprison. I'm probably giving away lots of spoilers for older books. All right. Usually urban fantasy isn't my jam, but this sounds like it has elements of like a modern western to it, which I sort of dig. And Wildlands, Witch Creek, I mean, the names sort of are dropping all kinds of coded western references there. So yeah, so this follows on 9 of Stars. So maybe I should read that and then read this. Witch Creek, Laura Bickle, end of the month, February 27th. Aha, and I'm very happy to have this. This is Elysium Fire. It's a new book by Alastair Reynolds. This is a 10 years on from the original. It's a sequel to a book called The Prefect, which is like a future detective noir kind of thing. And in fact, he's re-released in the UK, the first book, under a new title, something like Aurora Rising. Yeah, that's it, Aurora, which I don't really like. I don't know why. Aurora Rising sounds like a Wachowski movie or something. I like The Prefect. I like that, you know, it's one of those down-to-business kind of titles. But, all right, you know, it's his choice to change it. But now Elysium Fire is the sequel. Presumably it can be read as a standalone, but every utopia has a dark side. 10,000 city-state habitats orbit the planet of Yellowstone, forming a near-perfect democratic human paradise. But in the dark chasm between perfect and near-perfect hides untold dangers. Across the habitats, people are dying suddenly and randomly, leaving no clues as to the cause of their deaths. And while panic rises in the populace, a charismatic figure is sowing insurrection, convincing a small but growing number of habitats to break away from the glitter band, literally tearing society apart. So, this is apparently already out from Orbit, came out on the 23rd. Elysium Fire by Alastair Reynolds. And this is another Hachette title, and it's in one of these vacuum-sealed things that I hate. All right, then. This is a sequel to another one I got last year and never got around to. I'm so bad. I suck so bad at that. I'm making an effort to change this year. But this is Defy the World. It's by Claudia Gray. It is a YA space opera, I believe, that is the sequel to a book called Defy the Stars. This comes out April 3rd. And let's see. What can I say about it? That won't be a spoiler. Noemi Vidal has returned to her planet Genesis as an outsider. And then I think it goes right into spoilery stuff from there. Well, I can probably read this bit. In this fast-paced YA space opera, best-selling author Claudia Gray asks us all to consider what drives us and where we truly belong. Moreover, Defy the World taps into a genre that Americans may be in need of during 2018, escapism. Well, I won't deny that. All right, then. Defy the World, a sequel to Defy the Stars. Did anybody read Defy the Stars last year? Let me know what you thought in the comments. But the sequel comes out, like I said, April the 3rd from Little Brown Books. All right, I got a couple of these. These are new mass market releases from Dahl Books, so I'll just do them together. Right here we have Elisha Demon. This is by E.C. Ambrose. This is the latest book in a series of his called The Dark Apostle. And I have seen a lot of these earlier ones, but admittedly haven't really dug into them, so I don't really know what they're all about. But this pull quote says, in a grim world of medieval warfare, witch hunts, and primitive surgery. Oh yeah, that's it. The main character, Elisha, I believe, at least starts out, he's a barber. And back then, barbers also did surgery. If you can believe, that's like the wonderful medical care, healthcare you got back then. So at least at some point, some people had it worse than typical American healthcare, I suppose. So, but this, I think, is book 6 of this series. And then next up, we have Aliens Abroad by Jeannie Koch. This is the latest in her Aliens, Touched by an Alien, ongoing. I guess these are science fiction rom-coms. Maybe they have a bit of an X-Files-y bent. I tried reading the first one. It was maybe a bit too silly for me. But good God, they must be popular AF because this is book 16. 16. And there are apparently more coming. So Aliens Abroad, a February mass market title from Dahl Books, if you're a fan. And moving on, another white envelope. So let's see what is in this one. This is a Tor title, and it is Echoes of Understory, which I've already been sent as an e-arc. The author is Thoraya Dyer, and this is the second in her Titans Forest series. It's the sequel to Crossroads of Canopy. And I don't know if this is an indication of how well those books are doing for Tor, but Crossroads of Canopy got a hardcover release, and this is coming out as a trade paperback original. So, probably not a good sign. I've heard mixed things about the first book. It is still on my list to be reviewed, so I guess I'll let you know as soon as I can. But it's a doorway for new readers while offering the same rich world building and beloved characters that fans have come to expect. So it's maybe not a direct sequel to Crossroads of Canopy. It's just set in the same universe. Great deeds are expected of Emeris. Being the ordinary sister to a goddess, Emeris always felt pressured to be the best fighter in Understory. During a mission to capture the body-snatching sorceress Kirik, Emeris fails disastrously. With death on her conscience and in hiding from her peers, Emeris climbs up to the sun-kissed world of Canopy to learn new ways to defeat Kirik. This society is apparently in this massive, all-encompassing forest. She doesn't expect to be recruited for a hunt for the ages, chasing a terrifying divine monster that will take all her skills to stop. Well, sounds like a cool idea. Anyway. Well, this comes out from Tor on February 13th. And last, but by no means least, we have this one from Random Penguin. Well, this is interesting and a nice way to sort of wrap up. This is by W. Michael Gear. It's a book called Outpost. W. Michael Gear is best known for partnering with his wife on a long-running series of, I guess you would say, historical, prehistorical, like archaeological, anthropological, adventure novels about, I don't know, I guess, early humans making their way through. Like People of the Longhouse, People of the Sea, those books, you're probably familiar. I don't know what the overall series title is of those, if he even has one. But he's also written, on his own, and I think with his wife, a lot of SF. And this is a new one of those. It's described as Avatar meets Deadwood, in a thrilling tale of high-stakes survival on a frontier planet. Okay. Both an anthropologist and archaeologist. Gear uses his expertise to create a visionary new planet inhabited by a reckless human society and even more deadly creatures. Okay, they're calling that other series the First North Americans series. Got it. All right. So, back to Outpost. The unique backdrop sets the stage for a gritty sci-fi tale. A gritty sci-fi tale. There you are, Thomas. Well done. Full of intense conflicts and gripping action that's perfect for fans of John Scalzi and Greg Bear. When the ship Tirolon arrives in orbit, Supervisor Calico Aguila discovers a failing colony, its government overthrown, and the few remaining colonists now gone wild. Donovan offers the chance of a lifetime, one that could leave her the most powerful woman in the solar system, or dead. Planetside, Talina Perez is one of the 3 rulers of the Port Authority colony, the only law left in the one remaining town on Donovan. With the corporate ship demanding answers about the things she's done in the name of survival, Perez could lose everything, including her life. For Dan Worth, Donovan is a last chance. A psychopath with a death sentence looming over his head, he can't wait to set foot on Port Authority. He will make one desperate play to grab a piece of the action, no matter who he has to corrupt, murder, or destroy. Captain Max Taggart has been the corporation's go-to guy when it comes to brutal enforcement. As the situation in Port Authority deteriorates, he'll be faced with tough choices to control the wild Donovanians, or I guess. Only Talina Perez stands in his way. Oh, it gets better. Just as matters spiral out of control, a ghost ship, the Freelander, appears in orbit, missing for 2 years. She arrives with a crew dead of old age and reeks of a bizarre death cult ritual that deters any ship from attempting a return journey. Okay, that's a level 9000 plot twist. I'm liking it. And in the meantime, a brutal killer is stalking all of them, for Donovan plays its own complex and deadly game, the secrets of which are hidden in Talina Perez's very blood. Well, there you go, guys. That's Outpost. Sounds like a pretty hairy situation all these people are in. But this comes out from Dahl Books on the 20th of February. Let me know in the comments. Not gonna lie, that sounded cool as shit. Alright then, you know the drill. Light up those comments. Let me know which of these looks most interesting and exciting to you, which you would like to see me prioritize in the review queue. I forgot to announce in the announcements, there is also going to be later this week, finally another Daily Shorts episode, so look forward to that. But anyway, if you enjoyed watching, please leave a like, share the video, and above all, please sub if you haven't done so. That's how the channel grows. You can also support the channel at my TeePublic store and at my Patreon, where recruits into Wink's army get little perks like getting to see these videos early and things like that. I want to thank those people for their additional support. I want to thank all of you for being, as always, the best viewers in all of BookTube. And until I see all of you next time, happy reading.